Montage means the assembly of pieces of film which, moved in rapid succession before the eye, create an idea. Of course, the most elementary form is the juxtaposition of imagery in various sizes.
Here's a list of things that people generally forget when they're camping. So, batteries. One of the things I've noticed from camping, especially in the cold, is the longer my USB cable, the more power it takes to charge my batteries. I bring shorter, stumpy USB cables now these days. So another thing I bring is a little towel, something to dry things off, like a microfiber cloth. I always bring a shamag scarf. So I call them a sheba. A sheba, but I'm not quite sure what the technical word is for it. But yeah, I use a shamag, I think is the way it's pronounced. Another thing that I have in my bag that I try not to forget is tent pegs, just a spare set of tent pegs. Now this is my forgot me box. In this day and age we have so many backpacks and rucksacks. They have to be packed in different ways, and what I've noticed recently is I'm starting to take my tents apart. Now if I take my tent apart, I'm going to forget the tent pegs. So one of the items I'm putting into my forgot me box is a bag of tent pegs, if that makes sense. You can never have enough tent pegs either, different types. I never just go with the ones that the tent comes with. I'll mix and match them. I'll always have different sets of tent pegs. Long ones. I mean, sand is a typical one. You need like really long tent pegs for sand. A lot of this can be too consuming. Like today I was faced with the fact that, I wanted to plan to do this video. So I have to have batteries, I have to have things charged, I have to have SD cards, making sure that my phone is charged. And if my phone isn't charged, I don't wait for my phone to be fully charged. Just go. That's what power banks are for, is for just going. You can charge them on the go, A can opener and a bottle opener. These two items, if you're the person with a can opener and a bottle opener and nobody else has it, you've changed the world for someone. What was that noise? If I'm going on a camping mission for more than 2 or 3 days, I bring a big tank of water. It's a necessity to have water. You use so much water as a human. I think it's like 3-4 liters a day is the minimum of what you use. Cooking, all this sort of stuff. I have cooked potatoes with seawater, and it's not nice. It's not a nice experience to cook with seawater. It's interesting, but it's not nice. It's not impossible either. Fire starters. I'm not sure if you put this in a forgot me box, but these are the things that people forget, are things that start fires. Sometimes one fire log is enough to start 10 fires. Fire logs or fire lighters, depending on what country you live in. Toilet paper, tissue. Tissue is genuinely one of the things when I'm out in the outdoors that you sit there and you go, oh my God, what am I going to do without tissue? So each of my bags has a little set of tissue in it. Every single bag I have probably has tissue in the bottom of it somewhere. Sometimes it's in my pockets here. It's essential for camping. Sunscreen. I have a funny story of sunscreen. Myself and my wife were camping one beautiful weekend down the west of Ireland, and the two of us had these aviator glasses on for the whole day. We went to get dinner in a restaurant that evening. My wife got out of the car and she goes like this, you know, she starts talking to me, and she had these two white circles, you know, and I started laughing at her because she looked like a panda, and then she started laughing at me because I looked like a panda too. We both had these two white eye sockets. So sun cream or sunshade. I think if you're camping in the outdoors, you need to have some sort of shade rather than just sun cream. White clothes, everything white. Even though you look like a piece of chalk walking around, if you have a big hat and white clothes, you're going to feel lovely. Even on a very hot sunny day, you'll feel really nice. To me, first aid is a tissue and some tape, you know, or water. Or if I cut myself, I know I can stick it back together if I hold it up in the air. I'm like, I can stop that from bleeding. Or I'll suck it and spit it out and know that I've washed it, you know. Insect repellent. Here in Ireland, we get what are called midges, or when I was a kid, we called them midgets, but they're a little tiny thing. Insect repellent doesn't always cut the mustard with them. I mean, they detect your breath, and there's no way to mask carbon dioxide. I think a lot of insects are attracted to your carbon dioxide. Another thing to think about is clothing. You always need extra clothes. When you're in the outdoors, your clothes become a bit of a sponge. When I'm walking around, I'm sweating. Even when I'm not walking around, I'm perspiring. There's moisture coming out of my body. If that moisture hits a cold layer of air, it's going to sit on the clothing and make the clothing damp. So the more activity I do, the damper my clothes are going to get. When I'm camping and stuff like that, I think it's really important to bring another layer of clothing, something that's wrapped in a dry bag, something that you can change into at night. Socks, a new hat, new underwear. These things are hugely important to me to change my clothes before I go to bed. Before I get into a sleeping bag, I've changed everything that I'm wearing. As soon as the night comes, as soon as the sun drops, any moisture that's in the air is falling out of the air onto your clothing. So at nighttime, if I'm camping, I always put on a raincoat. Another thing, I think this is more recent for me, is trash bags. So to bring a bin liner, or to have them in my car. I usually have space for one in each of my bags. If you find rubbish, it gives you this ability to take it out. And I always think when I find a wrapper when I'm hiking, I always think about the person who's pulled their hand out of their pocket and this thing has blown away. And the reason I think about that is because I remember finding a Ziploc bag belonging to me. And that's exactly what happened. I didn't mean to drop that rubbish, but it was there. So I tend to think about it now like, well, maybe somebody will pick up my piece of rubbish if I pick up their piece of rubbish. If I'm camping and I've got food, one of the things I'm really conscious of is little critters. They want to eat your food. That's where Ziploc bags come in, or something that tries to mask the smell. I mean, an animal can smell your food miles away. He can smell what I ate yesterday. A deer knows that I ate meat this week. That's the way I look at deer. They can smell me a mile away. So they can smell your food as well. And it's important to have containers. You can take that Ziploc bag and you can put like your eggshells in it. You can put any tissues that you've used. You can, so I kind of use my Ziploc bags in reverse. I bring my food in them and then I bring my rubbish out in them on the way back. Yeah, sunglasses. Your eyes can get sunburnt. If you don't have uh, some proper sunshade, you can get really bad headaches and really bad sunburn on your eyes, which causes damage. You know, as you get older, you're not able to see. Spare socks. I don't have them in my. I don't normally bring spare socks. Like I bring a pair of gloves. I always have like spare gloves in my. That's why I like combats, because I can have easy access to my gloves and some warm items. I love these things called, you can put socks in there. If you think it's going to be a wet day, you can put your socks in there as well. I love these types of things in my pockets. I call them wristies, and it's pretty much the heel of a sock that's been cut off and the front of a sock, and you're just left with the ankle part of the sock. And I absolutely love these. If it's a cold day, they're so light. Stuff like these snood things, these are great. So quick, so light, but you've got this extra layer that you've got on straight away, and it gives you this lovely, cozy feeling when the temperature changes. I think if you're doing a very long hike, if you go up to the likes of 19 kilometers, a second pair of socks is essential. Your feet, like don't even talk to me about socks. I absolutely love socks. I love like bamboo socks, cotton, wool. They all have their individual uses. Bamboo is a great one for wicking moisture. But yeah, if it comes to the end of a day, if I'm camping, if I'm wearing those same socks to bed that I've had inside my boots, it's not a happy place. If I'm doing a very cold camp, I'll put powder on my feet, my shoes. I just see a bumblebee here. Isn't that amazing? He's alive. So a hat and sunglasses. Yeah. If I'm out in the sun and I don't have a baseball cap on, I'm going to get a headache. And that's because the sun has a radiative force that's able to penetrate your skull. And that radiative force will give you a thing called heat stroke. Um, Heat stroke, not many people realize how it happens, but it is from being out without a hat on. So any sort of long walk that I do, I'm putting on a baseball cap. It's hugely important to have a hat on of some sort. That feeling of sunstroke is debilitating and dangerous. It can actually kill you. Um, it will disable you completely. Uh, and not many people realize what sunstroke is, what it is, or what it feels like. Um, Cooking tools, like in my forgot me box, I have a knife, a fork, and a spoon. That's it. You know, it's just one of each. And I know that if I've left the house, I know that I have them in this box. I know I have a second set, and most times I kind of know that that's my mission box. I can pull these items out of because they're there, because these are the items that I forget the most. I love airplane blankets, these fleeces that you get on an airplane. I love a I love having one or two of them with me camping. It just gives you this extra thing that you can throw over your head. Same with the shamag, that scarf. If it's really, really cold, you can just throw it over your head, and it's not going to get too damp. It's just going to keep you warm, and you can breathe through it. I think that's the important thing with the shamag is even though your head is covered, you can still sleep. You can still get yourself asleep at night. What else do you need? A toothbrush and toothpaste. So a little mini toothpaste is always a handy item to have out with you or in your forgot me box. Now, is that it? That's my list of things for the forgot me box. I hope you enjoy that list. If you have any other things that you forget, please let me know.